A huge controversy exploded on social media, and the movements that are happening now prove that our franchise barely escaped a real bomb. An Elite League superstar completely lost his mind on the internet, directing all his fury against the Players Association and the most hyped running back of the moment. Our management came very close to bringing this athlete in, but acted coldly behind the scenes and avoided a chaotic situation that could have destroyed our locker room. How did we escape this disaster? Hold your anxiety, as I will reveal the details of this controversy shortly in the video. While our head coach and his coaching staff are burning neurons on the training field, a glaring concern that was keeping the fans awake has been completely dissipated. We went to the market and secured a significant signing, a new aerial target that comes to bolster our offense and resolve a chronic problem once and for all. Like the video, it's just a click and helps me a lot to continue bringing the naked truth about the Commanders to you. Let's go to the video. Brandon Aiyuk has struck again on social media, directing his anger at the NFLPA and San Francisco 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey. As a fan following every move, I know the situation has become increasingly complicated, while awaiting his long-anticipated release from the franchise considerably. But it seems that the Washington Commanders may have narrowly escaped in a clear manner. It wasn't hard to find speculation linking the Commanders to Aiyuk this offseason. His previous connection with quarterback Jayden Daniels and general manager Adam Peters was considered strong. The wide receiver still believes he will end up in Washington when the time comes, considerably. But the rumors have significantly decreased since he decided to express his frustrations on Instagram. The Commanders cannot justify the signing of Brandon Aiyuk amidst the recent outbursts of anger. Everyone, from the Niners, his teammates, and even Daniels, is in the crosshairs in a clear manner. Aiyuk seems lonely and distressed, and there is no way to reverse the situation in its current state. The Commanders could still give him a chance, but Peters needs to think twice before making that decision. Washington does not need distractions considerably. This ambitious project needs to recover in 2026. It is necessary for everyone to be committed and for there to be the least possible distractions. Aiyuk represents a risk due to his injury issues in a clear manner, but his erratic behavior also makes the situation uncertain from the player's character perspective. The Commanders have reportedly been exploring the free agent market for another reliable veteran wide receiver. Aiyuk would be a revelation if it were 2023, when he earned second-team All-Pro honors considerably. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and burning bridges with the NFLPA is just another step backward in his quest to return to the league. Fans are already tired of Aiyuk's actions in a clear manner. Some are still pushing for the Commanders to take action, but they are few. The Niners are not blameless in this story at all, but the player hasn't helped himself at all with the way he handled the situation in recent weeks. Peters leaves nothing to chance considerably. He examines each situation and each potential transaction carefully. The leader of the Washington front office is certainly already aware of Aiyuk's questionable choices on social media. He is in a good position to gather all the information before making a conscious decision in a clear manner. But this does not exactly align with what the Commanders are trying to build under the current regime. Aiyuk has talent. He is also considerably unpredictable, apparently intent on self-destructing any faint hope he has of succeeding for the rest of his career. It's a sad scene, but he has clearly brought all of this upon himself. Coach Dan Quinn and his staff have a lot to analyze during training camp considerably. The Washington Commanders had an excellent preseason start, but that won't mean anything if the game pace doesn't pick up and the players don't deliver. But fortunately for Quinn, the Commanders will arrive at camp with a glaring concern now clearly dispelled. Fans were demanding reinforcements for the tight end position. Zach Ertz was productive and an exceptional leader during his 2 seasons with the team, but he was considerably aging. And the brutal torn ACL suffered against the Minnesota Vikings practically ended any hope, however small, of a new contract in Washington. The dynamic among the Commanders' tight ends can alleviate some of the key offensive concerns clearly. Considering the importance that offensive coordinator David Blau is likely to place on the tight end position in his scheme, more was needed. General manager Adam Peters promptly answered the call, signing Chig Okonkwo for 3 years and $27 million in free agency to fill the gap left by Ertz considerably. Okonkwo doesn't have Ertz's stellar resume. Even so, he is younger, much more dynamic, and capable of thriving in Blau's system. The good start in Washington's preseason program has only heightened expectations for his future in the most promising situation of his professional career clearly, by far. He wasn't the only tight end to stand out. John Bates' blocking skills are undeniably considerable, but Blau hopes he will become a complete player. Ben Sinnott, the second-round pick of 2024, who has been virtually ignored for the last 2 years, is also being used in different ways to maximize his evident physical attributes clearly. Even Colson Yankov is showing more potential as a pass catcher, so everything indicates that he is improving. Obviously, it is still early. Fans will see a bit more of what Blau has planned for the tight ends in training camp and preseason considerably. Well, he won't reveal all his secrets, but it would be surprising if this group of players doesn't become an important piece of the puzzle. Losing a player like Ertz could have had a negative impact on Washington's chances, clearly, if an adequate contingency plan hadn't been implemented. Between Peters, Blau, and coach Dan Quinn, they seem to have found the right formula. Talking is considerably easy. The Commanders need to bounce back at any cost this season. Any lamentably inconsistent performance further will have serious consequences, and everyone knows that. Quinn took a huge risk by hiring Blau, clearly, who has no experience calling plays in the NFL. But with his tight ends showing signs of being in good shape, this could be the spark that allows his offense to take off, with quarterback Jayden Daniels considerably healthy. We hope this is just the beginning of what's to come. Blau and the Commanders are counting on that. The selection of Josh Conerly Jr. at the 15th spot certainly looks like more of a projection considerably, and perhaps it is a glimpse of where he is heading. It is certainly where the Washington Commanders want him to go, on the rise. Playing as a right tackle in the NFL is clearly not for the faint of heart. The expectations for the second year in the position can determine the success or failure of a career. Washington selected Conerly in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft and wasted no time getting him on the field. In his debut year, he started in all games as a right tackle considerably, accumulating over 1,000 snaps. According to Pro Football Focus, Conerly ended the 2025 season with an overall grade of 59.9, a grade of 57.8 in pass protection, and a grade of 63.4 in run protection clearly. Taking into account his 13 penalties and 8 sacks allowed, those numbers do not indicate that he is an elite player, at least not yet. However, a quick look at those same PFF grades by game from last year will show an improvement in the second half of the season. Why Josh Conerly Jr. is considerably important. Conerly is important because the right tackle position can no longer be a revolving door for Washington. The team is committed to protecting quarterback Jayden Daniels, and for that, they signed one of the best left tackles in the league, Laremy Tunsil, clearly. That trade last year immediately changed the dynamics of the Commanders' offensive line. Now, if Conerly makes that big leap at the right tackle position this season, Washington will officially have tackles on both sides. Tunsil seems to have welcomed Conerly throughout the process considerably, which can only be seen as positive, as Washington would be ecstatic if Tunsil influenced Conerly in any way. "I see myself," Tunsil said in an interview with Commanders.com. "I don't want to sound cliche, clearly. I see a warrior. I see someone who wants it badly. He wants to be the best. Having tackles on both sides would make all the difference for Daniels. It would legitimize the ground game and help determine how aggressive and creative the new offensive coordinator, David Blau, can be considerably. Strengths and weaknesses of Josh Conerly Jr. Washington does not expect Conerly to be perfect in his second year, but they need him to continue evolving to the point where opposing defenses do not smell blood and start marking him clearly. If there is one thing he needs to control this season, it's the penalties. No matter the player's year, 13 penalties are not a good sign. To be clear, a grade of 57.8 in pass protection is not acceptable for any year in the career of an NFL offensive lineman considerably. 3 of his 8 sacks allowed were in Week 2 against Green Bay, which at least indicates some improvement in statistics throughout the season. Conerly's biggest weakness may have been his strength clearly, something that, according to him, he spent the preseason looking to improve. Diet, healthier eating a little less, Conerly said. As soon as we got back to training, I feel like we just keep adding more and more weight considerably. One of the aspects that caught attention in his college highlight videos was the way Conerly moves in open field. This should fit well in the zone blocking scheme, vaguely associated with Blau's coaching lineage clearly. We hope that the muscle mass gained this preseason does not affect this. Why do we rank Josh Conerly Jr. here? I felt like he had gained a lot of experience considerably. He has been a better run blocker than I expected. Even coming from Oregon, I knew he would have the necessary athleticism to protect the pass, because he could change direction clearly, Dan Quinn. The right tackle position is difficult to fill in the NFL, and even harder to maintain once developed. Most young players at this position come out of college and are significantly overwhelmed by the best pass rushers in the game. It's a harsh reality that teams must face, and that's why salaries continue to rise. The idea of ranking him 15th is that this is his current ceiling on a team with 22 potential starters on offense and defense clearly. If he meets all the goals the team believes he is capable of achieving, this ranking will seem low next offseason. So, fan, after discovering how Brandon Ayuk has been back attacking on social media, and how the Commanders narrowly escaped a tricky situation, understanding how the dynamic between tight ends can alleviate offensive concerns with the signing of Chig Okonkwo, and knowing that Josh Conerly Jr. is ranked 15th in the roster ranking and could be the key to protecting Jayden Daniels, which of these situations makes you most hopeful? Do you believe the Commanders made the right choice in not signing Brandon Ayuk despite his connection with Jayden Daniels? Or would it have been smarter to try to save him from his current situation? And more importantly, do you trust that Josh Conerly Jr. will make the big leap in his second year and become an elite tackle alongside Laramie Tunsil? Or are we just being overly optimistic with expectations? Leave your opinion in the comments. I want to know what you think about the future of the Washington Commanders.